first off, congrats on the win. You're now the 27th member of the Army 1,000 Point Club. How does that feel for you and, just your journey here at Morris throughout your past 3 seasons?
It's big time, man. We always want to win, put team first, and you always want to. That's why we put the days in. We're in here every day with each other, 5 hours a day. You're putting it in to get better as a team. But when you see your work pay off and your individual accomplishments and your goals come true, it's really rewarding. Really, all I can say is just it's humbling because a couple years ago, maybe a few years ago, before I come here, I didn't know if I'd have that opportunity, and I just want to always stay humble and just say that I'm grateful for the opportunity. Without the opportunity, I wouldn't be able to do it. So it's all opportunity. That's all I can say.
You look back on this performance and the one on Friday, do you find yourself thinking maybe you're putting a little extra effort into it? This is coming down to the wire for your career now.
I wouldn't say extra effort. One thing my teammates know they're going to get from me all the time is my all. I'm always give my all on the court. I think the numbers are starting to show a little more because I'm in more of a rhythm, and I've seen it happened the same last year. I was talking to my dad about this, where I started the season off a little slow, and then around this time in the year, I started to hit my stride. Don't know what the reason is, and I'm kind of not favored by that, but it just is what it is. And I feel like I'm just hitting a stride right now. My confidence is high. My teammates are telling me to be aggressive on offense. All those things are important factors that whenever I'm playing offense, I'm not thinking anymore. I'm just playing the game that I know how to play, and it makes a big difference.
I think this program is starting to adjust to this league. It's taken a little while, but you're at 500 now.
Mm-hmm.
That hasn't happened too often.
Mm-hmm. I would definitely say so. As you said, I don't think we've been 500 in this conference since we've joined, unless it was like 1-1 or 2-2. So this is a major step, and we can all feel it in the locker room. The teams I was on here in my past 2 years, we were always competitive, but we would have these close games like this one tonight, and we would drop the ball. We just couldn't figure out a way to close it, and we almost did today, but that's the difference. I feel like we're finding out ways to close out these close games, and we know that as long as we're playing defense and we're staying around, we have a chance to beat anybody in the conference. So just keeping our focus on that has been really important.
What has allowed your game to develop so far in the years that you guys have been in the Horizon League?
I would say just working. There's no shortcut to improvement. There's no shortcut to progress. Some people are going to be more skilled than others, but ultimately the work is what's going to separate you. And I knew that going into this year, if I wanted to do what I've never done and try and win a conference championship, that I was going to have to be a big role for the team. And I felt like I was disappointing early in the season when I wasn't producing at this level, but conference is when it matters. So as long as I'm here for my team in the conference, that'll do it. But like I said, just hours of work. I worked a lot on my jump shot this offseason. I still score a lot of my points in the paint, but just being able to know that if I step out there, it's going to be something that I'm comfortable shooting. Like just being comfortable from all spots on the court is what helps.
Trey Thompson went for 30 points against you guys in the first go-around. This time he went scoreless in the first half in 9 total.
Mm-hmm.
What are the adjustments that you and Stephon Walker in the front court overall sort of made on him this time around?
I would say that we trusted our help a lot. If you watch the game back, you'll see on his post-ups when he did get the ball, a lot of time when we played him the first game, he was able to get to the middle and score. It's the easiest part on the court to score. So we were going to take away the middle and force him to spin back to the baseline because he likes to get back to his right hand. So we forced him to spin back, and we'd have help there, and it kind of disrupted his flow. He made a couple shots in the second half that were tough, but as you said, our switching and some of the other things that we threw in the scheme kind of threw him off, and those adjustments are a credit to coach, and they paid off.
Very low-scoring game, at least in the beginning, before you had 2 dunks to really ignite the offense. What type of mentality do you have in those moments where only 10 points in the first 10 minutes to know when to be able to flip the script?
That's a good question. My dad tries to tell me, as a good player, one of the better players on the team, you have to have that switch. You should always be on go, but you have to know, like you said, and you can sense that you need to give it an extra kick, put your foot on the gas. So what I try and do is, it's a learning experience for me because, as I said, I did not have opportunity like this before. So I'm still learning to fit into this role. It might be hard to see from the outside, but there were times earlier in the year where I would see the team, us going down in the hole, and I wouldn't say anything in terms of offensively. I would just try and run the system. But now more so, and with the trust that comes from my coaches and teammates, when we get in those situations, I can say, let me get the ball. That play where I caught it on the block, that last one, and threw it out to MG3. I just asked coach if I could get the ball in that spot. He gave it to me, they doubled it, and I trust Mike to make that shot every time, and he did. So little things like that definitely help. And then just knowing that I have counterparts that can help me. I know I don't have to do it all, and that helps. When we're all going, it makes it easier on each of us individually. So.
How have you seen this defense, your defense, develop as a team over the course of the year? Because, you know, in the first 2 seasons you guys were in the league, you guys kind of struggled there, and this year it seems like you guys have really, you know, come together and gelled very well as a team over the past, you know, several games. And you got that Green Bay game where you held the 38 points, and
Right.
you know, over this stretch here. So how have you seen the defense kind of develop and grow over the course of this season?
I think it's due a lot in part to just the consistent energy that's throughout our team, coaches and players every day. Even when we went through rough patches, and I believe we were like 3-6 in the Horizon League, you could sense within our locker room that nobody was down, nobody was out. We knew that there was still room for us to grow. And the thing that we saw, to address your point, like for example, the Detroit Mercy game, we lost that game at their place, but we still scored like 80 points. And we knew that the separating factor wasn't offense, it was defense. And to go back a few months before the season had started, a lot of our practices, Coach Toole was just calling them identity practices. And it was just going to be all about defending, rebounding, toughness. And he used those practices to see what guys he could put on the court in the situations where you need that. And I think that's really translating. And I think whenever you have 5 people on the court that are setting a good standard, it challenges the people coming into the game to keep that energy up. So I think that's really helped. And as we continue to set that example, we'll all feed off each other, and that trend will continue to go upward.
Thank you, Glenn.
Thanks, y'all.